Tom Bower, who's been working on the sequel to Revenge for a while now, just got a big money deal to serialize it with Rupert Murdoch's News UK, especially the Times newspaper. But I think it might also run in the Sun newspaper to drop the first big shocks from his book, which is going to hurt the Duchess of Montecito even more. How desperate was Meghan Markle to become famous? Well, according to Tom Bower's book, she basically spent all her money just trying to make the right connections and get as famous as possible. Tom Bower just shared a shocking update that's got Meghan Markle really worried. The tough investigative writer who did the explosive 2022 bestseller Revenge is back with a sequel that's going to stir things up again. The new book called Revenge 2 isn't just another royal story. Bower says this one has proof and stories that nobody can twist or deny. This time he's working with News UK for a huge serialization deal, so chapters will come out in the Times and the Sun. That's the picture Tom Bower paints in the first 100 pages or so of his new book about Harry and Meghan. And so guys, I'm going to share a couple of the things I noticed and some big red flags about who Meghan really is, her plans, and how this whole thing with her and Harry is definitely going to end badly. I think it's going to be explosive because Meghan Markle can't control the story this time. Tom Bower is super respected, and at the end of the day we want the real truth, and we can't get that from the royal rota. We can't get the truth from Meghan Markle or Prince Harry. They are total liars. They pick only what they want to believe or what they want us to believe. When the first Revenge came out, Meghan and Harry still had big Hollywood friends and fancy media deals. But things are different now. And Revenge 2 is coming when everything seems to be falling apart. Bower's sequel St. Art right after all those failed projects, the bad Spotify split, the disappointing Netflix stuff, and the stories about millions in unsold products. But what's really getting people excited is that he's not just talking about business anymore. He's going deeper. He's looking into the questions people have asked for years, the so-called yacht years, those secret Soho House links, the weird timeline rumors, and all the old controversies that never go away. Tom Bower isn't just telling the story again. He's breaking it down piece by piece. And it sounds like nobody can hide anymore. And if you don't know who Tom Bower is, get ready. He's famous in the UK as the toughest biographer out there. The guy who's written more than 25 unauthorized books about Britain's biggest names. From Robert Maxwell to Richard Branson, Tony Blair, Boris Johnson, Simon Cowell, and even Prince Charles, this next book is going to be crazy. Tom Bower's way is bold and really hits hard. He tracks down the people his subjects never want found and somehow gets them to talk. That's his special trick, and it's why his books land so big. His first book on the Sussexes became a huge international bestseller right away. It came from over 80 people who spoke on the record. These weren't random people. A lot were insiders who stayed quiet for years. And when they finally talked, the truth came out like never before. What makes Tom Bower so scary for Meghan is that even with her lawyers watching his every move, he's never lost a court case. Not one. That's because Bower doesn't mess around. He backs every single claim with real proof. We're talking documents, checked sources, court papers, public records, and even tax files. His name isn't built on rumors. It's built on facts that hold up in court. For Revenge 2, Bower hasn't just stayed at his desk. He's been out there traveling across Canada and the United States, going to places like the Invictus Games to get info straight from the source. This isn't regular research. It's a full investigation that's taken years. Wasn't there some talk that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point? There were like old photos with her and Prince Andrew from way back when she was in her early 20s. Wow. We have Alice of the Castle with the view of Joe Rogan's recent comments on Meghan Markle. A lot of you have probably seen this picture already. You see Meghan with her Kangol hat. I always forget the name of that kind of hat. It really shows that whole idea. If you put a frog in boiling water, it jumps out right away. But if you put it in cold water, it slowly boils to death without noticing. And I think a lot of people, including me, aren't super shocked by the new stuff because we already knew most of it. In one interview, he teased, "I've got a lot of new material already, and I think the whole world wants fresh insight." The book is coming out early in 2026, and this time Harry and Meghan have zero say in the story that's coming. The Daily Mail couldn't bid for the serialization because of their ongoing court problems, but but the Times and the Sun have no such issues and are getting ready to print it all without holding back. Things are about to get really intense. Let's go back to what Tom Bower saw happening live. It was February 2023 when South Park aired its famous Worldwide Privacy Tour episode, and you can bet Bower is going to love digging into that moment. The cartoon didn't pull any punches, saying out loud what so many people were thinking quietly. In the episode, South Park showed the Prince and Princess of Canada, two characters who are obsessed with privacy but keep sharing every bit of their lives online. Sounds familiar, right? But then came the part that blew up the internet. The episode copied a real video Meghan posted, one where she's 9 months pregnant, dancing in a hospital room while Harry stands behind her awkwardly. She meant it as a happy, strong moment that people cowl. Relate to. But South Park saw it differently. They redrew the scene almost exactly, except in their version, Meghan's baby bump falls to the floor and it's just a pillow. The internet went wild after that. TikTok got full of funny recreations, and Respect Our Privacy became a huge meme everywhere. Then there was the computer screen scene. A quick shot showed Meghan's animated profile with 4 words that a lot of people say ruined her image forever: sorority girl, actress, influencer, victim. Those 4 words flashed on screen and hit hard like lightning. Reports say Meghan's team freaked out and tried to stop the episode from airing, but they couldn't. South Park had strong lawyers and satire protection, so it was safe. Tom Bower didn't just watch this. He wrote down the huge reaction as it happened. He also followed how Hollywood reacted. One studio boss even told Variety, "No one wants that kind of circus." And that said a lot about how bad things had gotten. But Bower saw something bigger under all the jokes. He knew satire only works when it matches what people already think. South Park didn't make up the doubts. It just gave them a funny voice, and now Tom Bower's new book Revenge 2 is going straight into whether those doubts are real. This is where it gets really explosive. For years, people online have looked closely at Meghan's pregnancy photos and videos, pointing out weird things that don't match up. Bower knows about every single one of those claims. The times her bump looked different shapes in photos from the same day, the clips where it moved strangely, even the hospital exit photos where she walked out in heels right after giving birth. People have watched those moments over and over. And now Bower is checking what really happened behind the scenes. New York Post said it's all smoke and mirrors now. Sarah Nathan, their editor-at-large, said Harry and Meghan had to downsize because it was costing too much. Big series came out this morning packed with stuff that's not really new revelations, just old ones with a new spin. As it turns out, we've apparently been wrong all along. Britain is a nasty racist hellhole where only wonderful Meghan stood up to it, and the world's biggest victims are not the people of Ukraine. He's already said in old interviews that he left out some personal details from the first Revenge book because of tough British privacy rules, but this time he's hinting those stories might finally come out. But now things are different. Tom Bower isn't stuck with strict British rules anymore. He's working with big American publishers, so he's under US laws now, and that changes everything. For the past 3 years, he's been collecting documents, records, and real accounts to back up every claim. This isn't gossip. This is a real trail of evidence. Reports say Bower's new work looks into questions people have debated forever. Why were there no official hospital photos inside? Why did the birth announcement seem strange in timing? And why do some pictures show what critics call weird physical things? These are the questions that keep online groups talking for years. And now Bower is taking them seriously. Even the people who published his first Revenge book were shocked by some early stuff he found. He had to be careful, balancing how sensitive it was with what people expected. Some readers worried how the topics would look. But Bower sticks to hard proof. Tax records, medical papers, and birth certificates don't lie. They just show the facts, and that's what makes Tom Bower hard to beat in court. He's not just accusing. He's showing the problems and letting people decide. That's his smart way. The big question was, would Archewell close or would another charity take it over? Harry and Meghan were looking for a fiscal sponsor, someone to handle the costs and keep it cheap. Really, it's all smoke and mirrors. Page 6 said 3 members, 60% of the charity staff, have been let go. One new thing he's looking into might surprise everyone. Meghan's real age. Official records say she was born in 1981, so she's 43 now. But some people say they found old interviews, early casting files, and even IMDb pages that showed different years, and you can bet Bauer is checking every document to see what's true and what's changed. Some records say 1978, others 1979. So which one is it? That small difference might not seem big, but in Hollywood, age can change everything for a career. A struggling actress in her late 20s gets different chances than someone in their mid-30s. Changing a few numbers could help someone get noticed, and according to reports, Tom Bauer has been quietly putting together the real story behind those changing dates. What gives him the advantage? Access. The kind most people never get. Bauer's been looking into school records, original casting sheets, and early agency files, the ones from before things were supposedly changed or deleted. He's checking everything. Graduation dates, university records from Northwestern, even early job listings, and when he puts the dates together, some things don't line up like people thought. He's not making crazy claims. He's just following the mismatches, and that's what Tom Bauer does best, but that's just the start, because now he's moving into one of the biggest mysteries. Soho House. Guys, an internet glitch on Meghan Markle's website showed more than she wanted about how bad her business is doing. Yes. Oh yes. She tried to say last year that As Ever was a huge success. It was selling out everywhere, but just 8 to 10 months later we see a totally different picture. Meghan is a total survival actress. And you raised that crazy start to the year when she wrote 2025 in the sand, eh? And do you know it's a very interesting image that came out on New Year's Day this year, because the weeks before had been really bad for her. She had been called Duchess Difficult again. There were bullying claims, tyrant in high heels for years. Bauer has been checking out the super exclusive private club network where Hollywood's top people meet behind closed doors. Memberships cost thousands, and real access to the inner group is another level. Even Prince Harry said in Spare that Soho House was her main spot. So now Bauer is asking the question everyone's whispered for years. How did a not-so-famous actress with normal TV pay get unlimited access to some of the most powerful private groups in the world? Something about that doesn't add up, and Bauer is set on finding out why. Tom Bauer's latest work focuses on one name, Marcus Anderson, the big global membership director at Soho House, and what is found about this connection is making people raise eyebrows. According to Bauer's research, Anderson's job moves seem to follow Meghan's cities. From Los Angeles to New York, then Toronto, London, and finally California. Every time Meghan moved, Anderson showed up there too. Coincidence? Bauer doesn't think so. He's also got proof that Marcus Anderson wasn't just a random friend. When Meghan and Harry got married, Anderson wasn't in the back. He was an honored guest, a real VIP. That one detail tells Bauer this friendship is more than casual, and Revenge 2 is going to tell that whole story. Then there are the old yacht photos that keep coming up, pictures that supposedly show Meghan on fancy yachts with rich older men before Harry, and now Bauer isn't jumping to big conclusions. He says some of those photos got mixed up or misunderstood. Internet people got parts wrong. But what still doesn't make sense, according to Bauer, is the pattern: the repeated access to super rich circles and billionaire life that didn't match what she earned back then. On Suits, Meghan's pay was about $50,000 per episode. That's good money, but not enough for private jets, design, clothes, and those fancy Saint-Tropez parties people saw online. So Bauer is asking the clear question: who paid for that lifestyle before Harry showed up? Even TV host Piers Morgan once said he showed photos on air of Meghan at exclusive events long before she met Harry. Pictures that made big news right away. But of course, what this tax info really shows is that they used Archwell to pay for their lifestyle, not to help the world. Because the security bill alone is said to be around $2 million a year, with money going out of the charity. What interested Bauer most was Meghan's reaction, or no reaction. She stayed quiet. She sued over private letters and spoken out after Oprah. But when it comes to these past questions, she says nothing, and that silence, in Bauer's eyes, says a lot. Meghan has taken legal action over dozens of stories before. But for these photos and these claims, her answer has been total silence, and to Tom Bauer, that silence isn't nothing. It's on purpose. And that's exactly the kind of thing he loves to look into. He's reportedly found people who really knew her during those mystery years. People who were at the same private events, who say they saw what happened. And as Bauer likes to say, non-disclosure agreements don't last forever. When the silence ends, the stories come out, and he's ready to listen. But Bauer isn't just going over her past. He's also showing her current problems as they happen. April 2024 was Meghan's big try at a lifestyle brand comeback with American Riviera Orchard. The media went crazy right away. She told Harper's Bazaar her product sold out instantly and in hours. Headlines repeated it everywhere. Meghan's jam sells out in hours, they said. The press ran with it. Fans were happy, and for a bit it looked like Meghan won another PR game, but Bauer wasn't convinced. Behind the big headlines, he checked the real numbers, and what he found was surprising.